Hi everyone, and Happy New Year! I thought we would kick off 2023 with a bit of a Vlogmas extra, just capturing things that we did over the new year and the coordinating weekend. Of course, our travels involved a yarn shop in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania called Pearls of Wisdom. It was a really cute shop, massive, such a huge yarn selection, and of course I walked away with some goodies. Admittedly, I had only gone there for some size 2 needles to cast on my muscle burrow hat, but of course I couldn't resist these lovely extras. They are just simply beautiful. Some of them are companies that I haven't heard before, or just I enjoyed the labels themselves were really pretty, so I'm that type of person who selects a book by its cover apparently. It probably comes as no surprise to you that the main reason we were in this area was to go brewery hopping. We had visited a friend of mine from high school in Philly and decided to stop in Phoenixville on the way back to hit up some joints that we had been to when we first started dating, so it was really nice to actually get back there and kind of relive that weekend. I will say it wasn't necessarily as exciting as that first time. Like, this distillery was kind of clubby and made us feel old this time around, whereas last time we felt like we fit in, so there's that. We just have to believe it, that we can make the sun come out. Like I mentioned, I had grand New Year's Eve plans to cast on my muscle burrow hat, which I did, but then I ended up working on my gem shawl for pretty much the entire day, and honestly, it was worth it. It was nice to get back to it. I ended up making this delicious hot cocoa dip that's kind of gone viral on Pinterest, I think, before we took it and ourselves to one of Scott's friends' houses for a New Year's Eve party.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
New Year's is one of my favorite holidays because everyone is kind of lazy on whatever day of the week it is, and the rest of the holidays seem a little nuts in my opinion. But New Year's Day is really fun because you get to go and eat pork and sauerkraut at whoever is hosting. This year it was once again my nanny and the rest of my dad's side of the family. So we went and we had our delicious annual pork and sauerkraut for an early dinner, and then they bought these crackers that we popped, and that was really fun because apparently we're not very good at figuring out how they work despite doing this every year, but it was really cute and fun. So now that we have rung in the new year together, I thought we could take a little trip down recent memory lane and review some of the advents that I opened and some of the advent projects that I worked on. So let's take a look. The first project that I'll talk about are my Cozy Knitter Advent socks, and this is what they look like all finished. They're a little bit big this year, and I don't know why I did the same thing that I always do on them, but maybe my gauge has changed. I don't know. But this is what they look like, all 24 colors in all of their glory, and I did purchase the coordinating mini or like small skein to go with it, so I could have that like ivory / cream color to go along with them, and they are super comfortable, super pretty as usual. I was glad to be able to participate again this year. I believe the only year that I'm missing of these is 2018, and it makes me really sad that I don't have them all. I'm a weird completionist, so it upsets me a little bit, but really pretty. As always, I will give this a 10 out of 10. In a similar vein, I also got the Woolens and Nosh 2022 Advent Skein. I bought a bunch of their yarn when we were in Vermont last year, and I really enjoyed working with it. And when I heard that they were doing a self-striping skein and the way that they were putting it together, I was really interested in seeing how that worked. And the way that it works is it comes in this adorable little tote, and the end of one of the cakes is sticking out of the sides. And that's because even though it's self-striping, they put a contrast color in between all of the different stripes. So when you get to your contrast color, which this year is purple, then you know that you can stop for the day, and then every day you can knit on whatever the next color is, and it's always a surprise. So I thought that was really cool. Very clearly I did not finish them. In fact, I only started them last week on our travels, which you saw, but I really like the whole idea of it. I love the way that it's turning out. Like, I really enjoy the colors that were chosen for this. I have been spoiled. I've seen the completed socks, so I kind of know what they look like, but in a lot of ways it is still a surprise for me because, you know, you don't remember the order, you don't remember the colors exactly. So, but I really like these, and if you're in the market for, if you want to try a different type of self-striping advent sock next year, then this would be really fun for you, especially if you like the surprise of it all. This next project is being worked on 2021's Homespun House Advent. So this is not a current advent, but it is a current project. I really wanted to cast on an anthology throw, and you're not really going to be able to see it in one view, I guess. But I saw a whole bunch of people casting on this thing, and I thought it was gorgeous, and it's turning out even more doubly gorgeous in Homespun House's yarn. In fact, it's making me wish that I would have gotten 2022's advent calendar. So her 2023 one is definitely on my must-have list, I'm not gonna lie. But it's turning out so lovely, it's so pretty. And despite there being like a little bit of like basic lace here and there to do like some of these holes, it's mindless. It is so mindless. You just knit and knit and knit and knit around, and then every now and then, every couple of rows, you need to do like some type of eyelet. So it's really simple. I will say that just like everyone else, I ran out of yarn on the 5th or 6th round, so that was to be expected. But apparently it all evens out in the wash, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So I'm not really too upset about it. But yeah, this is the Anthology throw. I didn't show this before, but I'm also using the little stitch marker that came with our Woolens and Nosh Advent socks. It's so super cute. It's just this little mushroom dude. And I hadn't started the socks when I had started this, and I really wanted to use the stitch marker, so it's on this now. But yeah, I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's finished. Apparently it's massive, but you can also wear it as a shawl and not just like a throw. So we'll see how that pans out for me. My next review is going to be about the Yarn Cafe Creations Disney Princess calendar. I'll just insert some clips here so I don't have to show you one by one what they all look like again. I love this calendar. This was the 2nd year that I indulged in getting it because last year's was so amazing. And I can't speak highly enough of it. It's really fun. All of the yarns are Disney princess movie themed, so you really can't go wrong. You can choose which sparkle you want. They're like what type of stellina. It's either going to be silver or gold. You can choose, and then you also get to pick your princess. So last year when I got the calendar, I did Belle. And this year I picked Ariel, but I couldn't remember which princess that I picked, and I decided to just surprise myself at the end. I had a feeling it was Ariel, but I wasn't sure. But I didn't go and look because I just wanted to be surprised. I don't have a project started with this year's Disney Princess Advent Calendar yet, but before December started, around Thanksgiving, and I think I showed this to you, I had started this Doodle Cowl from, I think it's Pacific Coast Knits or Pacific something knits. I'll have the Ravelry page. But yeah, I had started this with last year's Advent, and it's freaking gorgeous, so I am going to finish this at some point. But this gives you an idea of what you'll get in the Disney Princess Advent. You can see I'm repeating this yellow here every couple rows. I'm kind of trying to follow like a pink, green, purple, blue, yellow pattern. But this is also not even just the Advent yarn, but the Doodle Cowl makes for a great Advent project. So if you're looking for, if you're in the mood for color work, and for whatever reason I was, don't ask me why, but yeah, if you're in the mood for color work, this is a wonderful project to start working on, and it's gonna be so beautiful, I think, in the end, especially with this yarn, which I don't know if you can see the sparkles, but definitely worth looking into. And finally, we will end my Advent review with my Ruby and Roses Advent for 2022, which you can see behind me. This was another gorgeous one. I really love just her eye for color. It reminds me very much of Molly from A Homespun House. The way that the yarn worked is that I wouldn't call it a fade. It was more of like transitional, I suppose, from one color to the next. She also included a shawl that she designed to go along with it, which I didn't start knitting, but I think I'm going to because it is absolutely gorgeous. It's done with 2 strands of the yarns held together, so it's more of a DK weight, but because of the 2 fingering weights, it has a really nice drape to it. I don't know if you've ever worked with 2 fingerings before instead of DK, but it does have a different drape to it, and it's really nice. And yeah, it was lovely, and it all culminated in the final day with this beautiful ball of yarn called Twinkling Lights, which I'm currently turning into a Musselburgh hat. And I have to say that I think this pattern was the right choice for this yarn because the yarn is so beautiful and the straight stockinette really shows it off in its speckly form. So yeah, really, really love it. And you can see that I'm using my Southern Skeins stitch marker from the December box. I think it fits with the theme. So yeah, really happy with how this is coming out. All that to say, I was not disappointed in any of these advent calendars. I think all of them are worth looking into and investing in if you're interested. And I may or may not have already bought one for next year. I guess stay tuned to find out what that is in December. Anyway, all that to say, we have had a pretty decent start to our new year. I have been keeping up, I mean, it's only like the 2nd or 3rd day of January, but I have been keeping up with my daily card draw. The deck I'm using is this, I think it's called the Divine Tarot deck that Scott got me for my birthday, and it's based on fairy tales, and it's one of my favorite decks that I own. And I've also been filling out my new ritual journal, and that's been really fun. It doesn't take a lot of effort, so I'm thinking it might actually be something that I can keep up with, because any of these journals that require me to spend like an hour a day journaling or taking notes, there's absolutely no hope for it. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that, and if you're interested in that type of stuff, then this might be for you as well. With that, I hope you all had a really fantastic new year. I'm kind of sad because we'll be taking down all of our Christmas cards and decorations this week, but it is what it is, and maybe I'll see you next year when we do this whole thing again. Maybe, hopefully. I will see you soon. Bye. We'll talk.